It's Sunday night. You've got the notebook open, and you're building the perfect week. Gym at 6, no sugar, lights out by 10. Monday you nail it. Tuesday too. And it honestly feels different this time. Then Wednesday something slips. A meeting runs late, you sleep badly. Nothing dramatic. Thursday you skip one thing. And by Friday the whole plan is a ghost.
So Sunday night you open the same notebook, turn to a fresh page, and start over.
Same plan. Same collapse already loaded. Same week. Same person. Same Thursday. Why does it break right on schedule, every time?
And before you blame willpower, look closer.
Willpower didn't clock out on Wednesday afternoon. Something about how you start is quietly booby-trapped. That's the exact question this video answers. Why the restart itself is the thing that guarantees the quit. One mechanism, followed all the way down. Start with what Monday actually feels like. A clean page. Yesterday's misses wiped off the board. A brand new account. That feeling isn't in your head. Researchers gave it a name, the fresh start effect.
Dye, Milkman, and Reese, 2014, out of Wharton. People chase their goals harder right after a landmark date. A Monday, a first of the month, a birthday.
Sounds like free leverage. Here's the catch nobody mentions.
A clean slate quietly invites a clean, total plan.
You don't plan the version that fits your actual week. You plan the version that fits the fantasy of a whole new you. Everything, all at once, starting Monday.
Gym, diet, reading, early nights, cold showers.
5 new habits stacked in a single breath.
And it feels honest, because on Sunday night none of it has cost you anything yet.
So the clean slate didn't hand you a fresh start. It handed you a taller cliff to fall off. Because the higher and more perfect the plan, the smaller the miss it takes to break it. Remember that. It matters in about 90 seconds.
And you built this one with zero room to miss.
No margin. No off-day setting at all. Look again at the plan you actually wrote. There's no bad day version anywhere in it. There's the full workout. There is no 2-minute one for the day everything goes sideways. So the plan has exactly one setting, perfect.
And perfect has exactly one failure mode.
Broken. This is a known trap. Dieting researchers named it decades ago.
They called it the what the hell effect. Paul Ivy and Herman watched dieters eat one cookie they'd banned, decide the whole day was ruined, and finish the entire box.
One slip didn't cost them a cookie.
It cost them the entire standard.
That's what all or nothing does.
When the rule is all or nothing, nothing is exactly what a single miss buys you.
And you do this with far more than food. One skipped run, and suddenly this week's a write-off. You'll restart Monday.
Notice the sheer size of that reaction.
One missed rep, and the sentence you hand down is the whole week. That isn't laziness.
That's just the math of a plan with no middle setting. A plan that can only be perfect or dead will be dead by the first ordinary Thursday.
And Thursday always comes. Let's look at why the miss is basically guaranteed. You plan for the wins.
In your head you rehearsed the good version of all 5 days. You did not plan for the flat tire, the sick kid, the meeting that eats your whole evening.
But those aren't bad luck. Across any 5 days, one of them shows up. That's not a setback. That's just a week.
So the miss was never the surprise.
The surprise is you had no move for it except stop. Here's the fork that decides everything. When you miss, you either resume or you restart.
Resume means the next slot, you just do the next rep. Restart means you wait for a whole clean beginning before you try again. And a clean beginning has a date stamped on it.
Monday. So the miss doesn't cost you a day. It costs you everything until Monday. Watch the loop close.
You skip Thursday, then you write off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all of it, waiting to start properly.
Monday you restart.
And because you lost all that time, the comeback plan is even bigger, to make up for it.
Bigger plan, thinner margin, breaks faster. Wednesday this time. The loop isn't loosening. It's tightening. That's the wheel. Every Monday you sprint. Every Thursday you're thrown. Every Sunday you climb back on.
And here's the quiet cost.
You're not standing still.
You're teaching yourself, week after week, that you're someone who can't finish one. Every restart is one more data point in a story where you're the person who quits by Thursday.
So the waiting between Thursday and Monday isn't rest.
It's the exact stretch of track where the habit actually dies.
Now the part that changes everything. That miss you keep treating is fatal? It isn't.
Filippo Lalli's team, 2010, tracked real people building real habits over about 12 weeks.
Missing a single day did not measurably set the habit back. One miss. Basically no damage.
What broke the habit was never the miss. It was quitting after the miss.
Read that gap carefully. The Thursday skip was survivable.
The decision to wait for Monday was not. So the villain was never Thursday. And it was never your willpower. It was the restart itself. Restarting feels responsible. It feels like taking it seriously. It's also the single most reliable way to never finish. Because a thing you restart every week is a thing you never once let actually run. So here's the one lever. Stop protecting a perfect plan and build one that's designed to be missed. 2 moves. First, set a floor, not a ceiling. Write the worst day version of every habit down in advance. Not the 40-minute workout. The 2-minute one. Not the perfect meal. One better choice. The floor is what counts on the bad day. On a good day you'll fly right past it. On a Thursday, the floor is the whole win. And the streak survives the week. Second move. Make a resume rule, and make it before you ever need it. Gallwitzer's research calls these if-then plans. If I miss a day, then the next scheduled slot is the comeback. Decide it once, in calm, so you're not negotiating it in the wreckage. Notice what that rule quietly deletes. It deletes Monday. There's no clean slate left to wait for, because the comeback is always just the next slot. And one more, almost unfair in how well it works. Don't start on Monday. Start on a Wednesday. On purpose. A start with no fresh slate glow is a start you can't ruin by breaking the streak. You're not guarding a perfect week anymore. There is no perfect week to guard. There's only the next rep. That's the whole lever. A floor you can hit exhausted, a resume rule written down in advance, and starts that aren't sacred. Try it this week. Not next Monday. The very next slot after you finish this video. Now go back to Sunday night. You, the notebook, that perfect week taking shape under the lamp. Look at what you were really doing. You weren't lazy. You were too good at starting. You could build a flawless week in your head every single time. That was never the problem. The problem is a flawless plan can only be broken. And you kept handing it a Thursday to break on. You don't need a better Monday. You've had 50 perfect Mondays. You need a week that survives a bad Thursday. So close the notebook. Don't design a brand new week. Lower the floor on the one you're already standing in. You were never the person who quits by Thursday. You were the person who kept starting over on Friday. So stop starting over. Just keep going.